timing right. Cloak almost didn't know he'd marked it. Here's Maxwell.
Well, John Quinn's going to get his wish. Yeah, heart rate when someone shoots for goal. You're watching, John.
I wouldn't miss this.
All right, Nick Maxwell. So the heart just pounding a little bit more now as he goes back to have a shot for goal. And a bit more. 4 goals, 5 for the year. And he squeezes it through.
The high performance manager from the Bombers, as we take a closer look back on the first half and some of the results we're seeing. Start with Nick Maxwell. He's one of the players that we're seeing the information from on the GPS. This is his first quarter. He covered 2.2 Ks, second quarter 2.8.
Yes, well look, they're the sort of figures you'd expect. People have to understand they might think they'd be working harder than that, but 70% of the game time is either jogging or standing still. That's what we're finding. What we really need to get is higher levels of sprint, so the more they're sprinting the better it is.
Alright, so he covered 700 metres sprinting in that first half.
Yeah.
The next one is Notting. Tim Notting, who this is speeds we're looking at now. 28.2 was his top speed in the first quarter. He only had 2 possessions in the first quarter. In the second, he had 8 possessions. His top speed was lower.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the speed. Yeah, he's dropped off a little bit. That could be positional. But look at the number of repetitive efforts he's had in there too. That's pretty impressive. The 28.2 itself isn't super quick. I mean, we've got players that are running up around that 33, 34k mark, but he is doing a lot of work there with those efforts.
Now, we've had the heart rate monitor on Paul Lecuria, and again, he had 5 possessions in the first quarter. Of course, on naught now because he's in the room.
Satellites won't pick him up there.
What can you read from that? He almost got up to 200.
Oh no, he's working well up in. He's probably working about 95% of his max heart rate on what we've calculated, and it's a bit of a guesstimate to what it is. But he's working extremely hard, and I've been keeping an eye on him. I think it was smart from their fitness and coaching staff that they kept him on the bench there for just the first probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then brought him out there. It's a game of sustained intensity, and Lecuria is an example of that. And he's just been working hard for his heart rate to be up that high. Shows you.
All right, moving on to the G-forces here, which is measuring the impact of the hits. This is Jamie Charman, one of the highest hits in the of all the players we've been measuring. He got a 9.2. Now, what does that mean? What's 9.2 mean?
Well, I'd be expecting to see G-forces up around about maximum level of 10, so that's pretty high for him, but it's not surprising with the position that he plays. But his average is only about 7.2. It's not just about hits, it's about changing direction, it's accelerating, decelerating. So they're the sort of things you'd expect to see, and the G-force itself isn't so important in the game, I don't believe. It's more after the game, because that's going to determine days of recovery that he's going to need.
Okay, well, let's have a look at some of the overall figures then from the players we've been monitoring. Here's the distance again. Tim Notting's covered the most ground. Rob Copeland second, so the 2 Brisbane players there. And again, in terms of the sprint, it is Tim Notting who's covered the most in terms of the sprint.
Coincidentally, everyone will look at that and say, well, look, he's run 6.2, he must be the best. And his sprint level is also up the best, so he's probably superior. But Lecuria was off the ground for a fair bit of that time, so his is impressive.
His speed, Nick Maxwell the fastest, reached the top speed of 30.2, and Daniel Merritt 30.
Yeah, that's good. Now look, they might have hit that top speed just and held it for a second, but it is